why junk light matters. The reason that junk light matters is that junk light harms the mitochondria, the power plants throughout your body that you've probably heard me and others talk about. These are the source of your willpower. So if you're getting an exposure to this stuff, you're saying blue light, I don't look at blue light, what's going on here? Right now, what I want you to do is look at the brightness control on your keyboard or your monitor if you're at home and turn it down until you can see it comfortably, but it's no brighter than it needs to be. There, you just paid for your Genius Network this year, because if you make a habit of doing that, every single time you look at your screen, no brighter than necessary, and bonus points if you turn on the software that makes it more amber, or if you use a dark background called dark mode instead of light mode. What's going on here is our eyes were meant to spot stars against a black thing. They're not meant to spot black things against an illuminated sky. We're not very good at that, and it's stressful for the eyes.
Back in 1879, Thomas Edison patented the electric light bulb. Yet it wasn't until 1925 that just half of the homes in America had electrical power. Today, every one of you has electrical power almost anywhere in the world. When you enter your home or your office and turn on the lights, you are surrounded by some sort of electric light. What if the light or type of lights you are exposed to every day of your life were causing reduced productivity? This is a subject Dave Asprey is now focused on, and so will you be after you hear this 10-minute talk. Dave is a longtime member of Genius Network and founder of Bulletproof Brand. He's also known as the father of biohacking. Dave is a 4-time New York Times best-selling science author. He's the host of an award-winning podcast called Bulletproof Radio, and has been featured on the Today Show, CNN, the New York Times, and has been on the Dr. Oz Show on national television. For over 20 years now, Dave has worked with world-renowned doctors, researchers, scientists, and global mavericks to uncover the latest, most innovative methods, techniques, and products for enhancing mental and physical performance. Dave has personally spent over $2 million taking control of his own biology and pushing the bounds of human possibility, all in the name of science, evolution, and revolution. Dave's mission is to empower the entire globe with information and knowledge that unlocks the superhuman in everyone at any age. The proof of these advancements are better sleep, energy, and expanded capacity for you as a Genius Network member. Get set for some exciting and revolutionary ideas. Dave's title is How to Stop Junk Light from Impacting Your Day, Night, and Productivity. Please help me in welcoming Dave Asprey.
Hey guys, it is a pleasure to be here with you. And I thought I'd start by sharing my screen with you. This is a picture of me when I weighed about 280 in this picture. I used to weigh 300 pounds. People who know me well from Genius, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. Thank you, Canada Travel. I don't exactly look like that anymore. I'm almost muscular according to the New York Times. But I started saying, what's going on? At the time this picture was taken, I had just made $6 million. I was 26, that I lost when I was 28. And I started saying, well, what can I do to biohack? And here's my first piece of advice for you in Genius Network that's really critically important. And that is, pleats are not a good biohack. They actually don't work. So I'm going to suggest to you that this is not the right way to do it. But I started looking at what are the things that are going to give me more energy and maybe make my metabolism work better. I also had massive brain problems. And you're saying, Dave, I thought you were going to talk about light. It's all connected to these things. And I want you guys to understand this because I think some of you may have had things like this, but maybe not quite as bad. This is my brain. Daniel Amen, who's a member of Genius Network, did this scan, or one of his people did, almost 20 years ago. Decreased oxygen flow and consumption in all the parts that matter. And here's what they said. I'm an interesting referral. When a neuroscientist looking at your brain says that, there's a big word for this. You're pretty much fucked. That's the kind of failure that we were talking about earlier. So I wish I was only dealing with painting a picture. And by the way, my painting is probably worse than anything you ever saw. Haven't fixed that one yet, but I have fixed my brain. And one of the things that is critically important, and I'm going to walk you guys through a little bit of the science, is an understanding that there is something you are doing every single day that has changed dramatically in the last 10 years that you don't know you're doing, that is stealing energy from your brain and from your life.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video, and I want to let you know that I have a new book that's come out, and if you'd like to get it absolutely free, there's a link below in the description, or you can wait till the end of this video, or you can simply go to joesfreebook.com and you can get a copy there.
It's also taking years off your life, and it is not something that is easy to notice. We are so good at knowing, oh, look, something punched me in the face. It hurt, therefore the punch was the cause. But I promise you that if someone punched you in the face last month and then it started hurting this month, you go, God, that's so weird. I wonder why my jaw is hurting. And you would have no clue, because as human beings, even very successful entrepreneurs, we suck at putting together long-term consequences. And this is why almost every talk you're going to hear today is around, what do I do in the short term to write it down, to track it, to get the data? And I learned this as first an engineer designing early cloud computing stuff, and then as a business person with an MBA from Wharton who's sold more than $500 million in stuff now in my life. But I started applying it to my biology and saying, what are all the things that I didn't think about that are taking energy? Because if you want to be a good entrepreneur, you want to be a good human being, a good parent, it all comes down to return on energy. How much energy did you invest in your business, in your life, in your exercise, whatever you do, and how much energy did you get back? And what I discovered magically, what if you stopped wasting energy before you started figuring out how to get more? Right? And if this sounds kind of familiar, this is Jay Abraham 101. I don't know if Jay's dialed in today, a dear friend. And what Jay will tell you is, why are you going out to find new customers when you haven't fully taken advantage of helping all of the customers you have today? So you just look for more efficiencies. Your biology is the same way. What if you wasted less energy? What would you do if you had that energy? This is what you're going to learn today, so you never have to have a brain that looks like mine did. And the thing that we're not thinking about right now is the quality of your light. Every day, you eat stuff for energy and you forget, I also take about 30 pounds of air and I mix them together. But there's a timing system that controls all of this. And we are completely scrambling our biology right now. And one of my companies, actually two of my companies, are working on fixing this problem right now. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, but in part because I have my entire life been affected by this without knowing it, and you have too. So I'm going to teach you first why junk light matters. The reason that junk light matters is that junk light harms the mitochondria, the power plants throughout your body that you've probably heard me and others talk about. These are the source of your willpower. So if you're getting an exposure to this stuff, you're saying blue light, I don't look at blue light, what's going on here? Right now, what I want you to do is look at the brightness control on your keyboard or your monitor if you're at home, and turn it down until you can see it comfortably, but it's no brighter than it needs to be. There, you just paid for your Genius Network this year, because if you make a habit of doing that, every single time you look at your screen, no brighter than necessary, and bonus points if you turn on the software that makes it more amber, or if you use a dark background called dark mode instead of light mode. What's going on here is our eyes were meant to spot stars against a black thing. They're not meant to spot black things against an illuminated sky. We're not very good at that, and it's stressful for the eyes. Here's what the light that comes from your monitor that didn't exist 10 years ago and comes from the LEDs above you that didn't exist 10 years ago. It does this in studies. It increases free radicals. It's actually damaging the DNA in your eyes, and it's causing self-destruction. Now, you might say, Dave, what the heck are you talking about here? Well, look at what's going on here on the left. Those are the numbers at the bottom are the blue link or the wavelength of light. It's more blue on the left. The cells that are shredded on the left there, and the very shortest thing, that's thickness of the retina. So as you stare at a bright monitor, as you have over illuminated LEDs, especially shining directly in your eyes, especially with no protection in place, this is 30 days rat eyeballs. We know this is happening. And what else does it do? Well, let's see. How about all the things that you likely struggle with if you're here? Because I go to our breakout groups. I have lots of entrepreneur friends. Sleep, anxiety, and depression. You should get the maximum amount of light in your eyes during the middle of the day. And then at the end of the day, if you're still getting bright light, the timing system that tells the cells in your body whether they should rest and reset or whether they should keep going, it gets scrambled, especially if you're eating a late meal as well, which we're not going to talk about. Everyone by now has heard, oh, wear blue light blockers because they help you with melatonin. Unfortunately, it's more than just blue light. But if during the day you minimize this exposure that stresses your brain and stresses your eyes, you will have more energy throughout the day. You're better able to regulate your metabolism, and you'll yell at your family less at the end of the day if you have better light. It is essentially free to do this. It means don't turn on bright LED lights and turn your monitors down. You can have other lighting or just less light. We also know that the power plants, the batteries that power you, they don't grow as much if you have excessive light from indoor lighting. There's a study that shows a 69% increase in depression from the amount of light that leaks in around curtains in the average city today. This is why you might want to black out your room. Oh, and a tripling of breast cancer risk from excessive blue light exposure to your eyes. I'm not making any of this up. This is as big as it is. So what does it do to your brain? I promised you a better brain function. And well, this is a brain map from 40 Years of Zen, which is my brain enhancement company where people go in for 5 days. And it's a little bit hard to read the whole thing, but what I'm going to tell you is you see those blue and green things where you've got large splotches of them on the left? Those are slow meditative brainwaves. And what we have here at the top third is we have someone who has been exposed to typical indoor blue lighting. They have that beta in the front of their brain. They're alert, they're active, they're also a little bit hyper. And when we put the glasses on them, you see how the hyperness goes away? All of the blue-green stuff goes down, and suddenly it's like their brain is meditating. And at the bottom, after they've taken the glasses off, the meditation state stays. Literally, by manipulating the light that goes into your eyes for 15 minutes, they put on the glasses for sleep here, they induced a meditation-like state in their brain, and it stuck around after they took the lights off. This is a big deal. And the funny thing is, blue light blocking won't do this. You've got to block the other filters that affect your timing, because here's how your eyes work. It goes like this. You look at the colors of light that tell your body what time of day it is, the brightness of the light, and the angle of the light. And you control all of those things, which is probably too much science, but that's what it takes. So number one, right now, turn down your monitors, block blue light. But make sure you get some blue light, because if you block blue light all day long, you never get a wake-up signal and you will wreck your biology. So this is a problem.
Like if you paint the prettiest picture, I'm like, I love that. We'll do that. And then you're
all
like,
right,
what about-
Rob, I think you're going to have to mute. And guys, we have time for Q&A after this. I am going to finish a couple more hacks for you for your eyes, because this matters greatly for how you perform the rest of the time. Number 2, at night, sleep in a cave. Turn down your lights at night. You could say, Dave, you're being a little bit obsessive. No, a candlelight dinner works, and your biology, if you do this for 1 week, will shift so much that you go, why am I happy all the time? Why does it matter there's LED lights in my room? Because science. This is just how it is. So sleep in a cave. Now, there's an antidote for blue light, and it's red light. Now, I'm not going to read through all the science on this next slide, but I am going to tell you that it undoes a lot of what blue light does. So let me show you a neat thing that I have here in my office. I have this cool remote control that I bought off Amazon. It's very, very fancy looking. It costs $10. And I can press buttons on it, and magically, if you look above my shoulder here, you see how that red light turned on behind me? Yes, I turn red lights on at night, and I have one behind my monitor during the day. So when I'm looking at blue light, there's a little bit of red that relaxes and undoes what the blue does. So what you could do right now is you could go out and you can spend $5 on a red light bulb, and you could put it behind your monitor so that you have a more balanced color spectrum. And it doesn't take any more time and attention than that. But at the end of the day, you can concentrate better than you did before. Your ability to deliver in the world is based on how well your brain works. Your eyes are an extension of your brain. And right now, you're punching your eyes in the face all the time, and you just don't know it. So I'm going to talk about one more thing that's really important for you. Don't be afraid of the sun, because sunlight raises testosterone, fixes your vitamin D, improves your mood, lowers your stress, gives you better blood flow to the brain. 20 minutes in the morning, lowers blood pressure. So you need this natural light. This is a nutrient we're missing. And the final piece of advice for you is the next slide. It's this: you should do it naked. Okay, maybe you don't have to do it naked, but regardless, 20 minutes in the sun, darkness at night. And guys, I do not exist to sell you guys glasses. My life won't change if you do or don't, but I am here to change your life. You want to pick up a pair of TrueDarks? I made a code for you just to give back. No other reason. That is one of the companies I'm working on. This is what's missing. It's not about eating this, not eating that. This is as important as what you eat. Help your eyes and your brain chill out during the day, and you will be a better entrepreneur and a better human being because you'll be nicer to others. Thank you.
Okay, I hope you found that video awesome and useful. So if you want to get a free copy of my book, I want you to click here. And if you want to watch some more videos that'll be useful and awesome, click here. Go ahead. They're over here. Do it now. Come on. Thank you. Watch them.